Welcome my friends to Streaming Deluxe presented by Mr. Orange. This is a new video about the game The Captives plot of the Demiurge. So The Captives is an action-adventure indie game developed by Prism Game Studios Limited. It came out on the 11th October 2018. And it costs at the moment around 14 euros on Steam. You'll find a link in the description of the video, guys. So what is The Captives about? You can see here it's the creation screen of your characters. So the whole idea behind the game is actually that you create constantly a new character. A new character like I do it here. Therefore you have a lot of different options. And then you stop playing the game, and then at a certain point when the character dies or when you finished some part of the game, then the character becomes an NPC of the game. That's actually a really cool new idea, and I think this deserves to be highlighted here in this video. So you see here the graphics of the game I think are decent. It's nothing special. I would say also the UI could be made a little bit more pretty. It looks a bit too rough for a game that is actually not in the early access anymore, so the game is full released. And that's also look very quickly of Prism Game Studios, that we know what games did they bring out before. So they are the developers of Portal Stories VR, of Portal Stories Mel. So Portal Stories Mel is a game, is like a mod of Portal, and I played it a long time ago, so it came out in 2015. It's very, very good, very well made, so check it out, please. And Portal Stories VR is also extremely cool and was one of the first VR tech demos games that I played. So you can download those games for free, so don't worry, it costs you nothing. Go and download them. So, and then The Captives plot of the Demiurge, I hope I pronounce it correctly, is indeed an action adventure game. So it has nothing to do with VR anymore in the sense. So it's just a completely new game, and it's their first game. So what do they write themselves about the description of the game? They write that it is an action-adventure game with real-time combat and a strong focus on story. So yeah, there's a lot of story in the game. Create and play as a collection of prisoners who must work together to defeat the evil schemes of Prince Pico and his newly acquired magical powers. Yeah, that's what the game is overall about, so the story. And then the setting, it's setting during a struggle between two opposing ideologies after Prince Pico and the city-state of Volturno leave the anti-magic treachery to explore the alluring possibilities of the magic science. The other states band together to retake Volturno and to stop whatever scheme Pico may have begun with his newly acquired arcane knowledge. Okay, that's the setting. I actually don't understand anything. So yeah, that's mostly the problem to describe what your game is about. So the story is you play as a convicted prisoner drafted into the Tetrix army to undertake missions against Prince Pico's forces and collect intelligence concerning his master plan. While each prisoner has their own individual personality and backstory, all share one goal: to complete their assigned objectives and earn their freedom. Alright, so and the characters... after each level, your personalized character gets added to the story cast of NPC. So I have to correct myself. So it's mostly when you finish a level, whom you can then talk to and interact with. As the story grows, so too does your cast of previous player characters. Customization: when you create your character, you will choose from a variety of weapons and distribute your skill points amongst 4 stats. Since your available skill points are limited, you will have to think carefully about how to invest them. So the 4 stats of the captives are health, stamina, focus, and movement. We all know it, so it's nothing new. So it's like a very classical So yeah, I think when I was playing there was some issue with the sound. So sometimes there was sound and sometimes there was no sound. Therefore, you might not hear now in every part of the game actually the sound of the game. So the music, the background music. So maybe this is a bug, so it needs to be fixed, I would say. And now, yeah, the gameplay, I would say the sword play, reminded me very much actually of some form of Dark Souls. So they wanted to make it more strategic. You have to focus on one character, and then you can you attack, you block, and you're not just smashing, slashing into the enemy. So it's mostly more calm way to fight. So, and then you have to block when he attacks you. So overall the camera is okay, but also here I would say this needs a little bit more improvement, since sometimes I had the feeling that I didn't see everything on the screen, and I could not find my character so easily. So when I started playing this game, it was very easy, but I think you can also change the difficulty. I have to check this again. So, but that's how it goes. So, and I think the levels are also not so amazing in the sense of really basics. So maybe there also could be. So maybe I have to, maybe it's procedural generated. Let's continue and find out. So because when I was playing, I didn't find this out so easily. All the numbers of the captives are very low, so that the difference between spending a single stat point in the health over movement can change the feel of how your character plays significantly. It's not possible to create a character that is good at everything, because you will play as multiple characters. You can experiment with different weapons and stats and explore what the combat has to offer within a single playthrough, instead of being locked into one playstyle for the entire game. So that's concerned the playstyle, so you have to change the way how you play this game constantly. For the combat, the developers write the combat is a real-time tactical action in the style of Zelda or Souls games. Anticipation and timing is consistent key to success, although each character you create will require different approaches depending on how you invested your skill points. And to the gameplay modifiers, the developer writes, replay the game with special challenge runs, combination of unique modifiers to the game. These include roguelike challenge with randomizing your build each time you play through, the dungeons and soul challenge with restrict the number of checkpoints in the game and changes how healing works. So with a variety of individual modifiers, you can also tweak the game to create your own challenge runs or make things a little easier if you get stuck. So yes, game came out 11th of October. So how are the reviews at the moment? Overall, I would say there are 6-7 reviews, so it's not a lot. So for example, Final Rival writes, he gives it a positive review. He writes, played the game, loved the game on release. It has new spin on leveling up and adds some flavor to the gamer's experience with a diverse character customization section to really make the player the character. It has a good use of humor in the script to keep us interested and have a few giggles along the way. All in all, for lovers of castle crawler types games, this is a must. Dive in head first, some things different and fresh. Bobble Toff writes, gives it a positive review too, has played it 16 hours, so he played it really in depth. He writes, first, a heads up, a friend of friend was involved in the game, so I picked up to support them, and honestly I was not expecting much because I'm cynical and terrible. However, what I found was thoroughly enjoyable game. This is an isometric fantasy based adventure game split across multiple levels and playable characters, combined with a selection of different weapons that drastically change your tactics, enemies that vary in weapon, equipment and AI. Some of them try kiting you toward their friend. So cheeky. And clever changes in design. The 15-16 hours I spent on the game felt fresh and all the way through. Okay. Then Fairchild Redux writes, after 2.7 hours on Steam, this game is different and awesome, a whole other way to tell the story. You create and play a new character class with each chapter. You and your old characters stay relevant in your story and sometimes tag along. I normally don't write reviews, la 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 la. So, third writes, great dialogue, engaging combat and versatile build options, what's not to love? Okay, I see no negative review here, so and I want to let this stand like this. So what is my personal opinion? I think when I played it, I had fun. So I really played, and it was not that I actually had the feeling that I want to stop. So that's overall. I would also say it's. I don't want to praise it now like crazy. I would say there are some things that definitely need an improvement. I would say the camera needs an improvement. I would say the combat needs to be even a bit more swift, and the dialogues have been a bit too long for me. So, but I think that's something you can't correct, improve anymore, because the dialogue has written. But if you're a person that likes story-based games a lot, I think you're going to like this game for this reason especially. I'm a person that I don't like so much story-driven games, so I mostly don't read it. So here I read it a bit. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I giggled a little bit, and it was not too bad overall. So overall, I think it's a game I'm going back to play it some more. So I can recommend it to absolute fans of the game, of the series. So is it a game for everyone? I don't know. So here you have some footage of the game, and I read to you some comments. So maybe go and check out the Steam page for yourself and find out if this is a game for you. So, but overall, yeah, that's an interesting game. So I leave it here. Thank you for watching, guys. See you.